So recently I decided to take a short break from Standard and venture off into Wild to try out this Murloc Shaman build that I saw online. And really, this Murloc Shaman deck is pretty decent. One of the cards that I was the most impressed by is this Braingill card. This is kind of a sneaky card that made its way into the Great Dark Beyond, and I don't see many people talking about it. But in Murloc Shaman, this is an absolute powerhouse, and it oftentimes drew me up to 4 or 5 cards for just 2 mana. Insane value for a 2 mana minion. Other notable synergies in this deck is we are running Amalgam of the Deep as well as Mistake and Adaptive Amalgam. While they are Murlocs, they are also pirates. And for that reason, we have to jam in Patches the Pirate, and it is the whole reason that we are even running these Amalgam cards, and it is, I think, worthwhile. And the last card that I want to give a shout out to is Cactus Cutter. If you've been playing Standard at all, you have seen your fair share of Cactus Cutter. It used to see play in Asteroid Shaman when that was a very powerful deck, and it is now seen play in Swarm Shaman and Terran Shaman, and for very good reason. This is an exceptionally powerful minion, and it is also very good in Wild Murloc Shaman, because the only spell we run is Everyfin is awesome. And Everyfin is awesome is a pretty old spell that came out in, let's check it out, the League of Explorers, and it reads, give your minions +2/+2, and this costs 1 less for each Murloc you control. So this oftentimes costs 2 at most mana. Oftentimes it costs 1 or 0, and it is a very powerful board buffing tool, and it is the way that this deck wins the vast majority of its games. And that is pretty much Murloc Shaman. I didn't have a super stellar record with this deck, I will be honest, but it is a ton of fun, and if you do have the cards for this deck, it is worth checking out. And if you are a fan of Wild content, please let me know. I'm trying to gauge whether my subscribers are more Wild enjoyers or Standard enjoyers. I've been throwing in a mix here and there just to give a bit of variety, but I'm really curious what you guys are looking for in terms of Wild or Standard. But that is pretty much all I have today. If you enjoy the Hearthstone content that I've been putting out here recently, please consider subscribing. It would help out this channel a ton. I do have a small goal of getting to 1,000. I know we're a far cry away, but I do have that goal in mind. And if you want to help me get in front of some more people, feel free to also throw in a like. Those help out the videos as well. Anyway, let's jump into some games. Okay, so it's the first priest I've seen of today. This is typically aggro priest. So let's see what we can do against that. Love to see Everyfin is awesome. Crabrider is pretty decent against aggressive priest. And Adaptive Amalgam is pretty solid in the opener to get patches out of our deck. Everyfin is awesome. It's actually a late game card. I'll throw that back. Let's find not patches. Okay, solid. Love to see Clownfish. So I can actually go coin Clownfish into... Okay. I have a similar play. Not as good as your 1-2, but it's decent enough. And they will promptly answer that with a Mindseer. And we're going to be engulfed a little bit by a shadow. Okay, so let's go with a coin Clownfish. Is it worth it just to go double Crabrider? I think so. So clear that, clear that. So I have 2 1/1 Crabriders. My board's pretty big. Now we just need Braingill to pull some serious weight. If they just kill one of my minions, I'm doing pretty good. Brain Masseuse, okay. Yeah, that's probably the best draw in my deck by a mile. So let's hit him in the face, hit their Masseuse, also draw a card. Okay, okay. Murloc Shaman's looking pretty good this game. A little bit better of a draw. Hero powering my head into Mind Blast. Okay, my opponent can cut it out whenever they want to. Let's just go incredibly wide. And outside of a board clear, I think I'm probably going to walk away with a win. Hero power down my Oracle, that makes sense. Treasure distributor. Nice. Okay, Braingill looked insane that game. I had so much refill coming. But honestly, the insane card was Clownfish. Per usual. Modern standard. We got ourselves a mage opponent. Last mage we played against was Hostage Mage, and I imagine this is going to be the same case here. In that case, Toxfin is pretty worthless into Hostage Mage. I actually made it the best card in my deck. Thank you for coming back. So, happy to see that come back. 2 of them. Okay. You know what? Maybe I'm playing against Mech Mage, and Toxfin knows that. Or maybe, like, Secret Mage. They play minions that you want to kill, so... It's not looking like that is the case, though. So let's just poison into poison, and we're off. This is a phenomenal board. You can't draw it up better than this. Glyph. So hopefully next turn is Braingill. Braingill would be pretty cool. Okay. Let's just, commit more to the board. Why not? So we have a double Everyfin is awesome next turn if my opponent decides to walk away from their keyboard. It'd be very on brand with their hero portrait. Naturally, my opponent found a volcanic potion off of Glyph. And yeah, that's great. Okay, so let's hit him for 1 and pass the turn. Sounds pretty fun. Sounds like a good investment too, since the cards don't rotate ever. I've wanted to play a Reno deck, but since he's rotating soon, I haven't built one. Maybe now's my chance. Fair warning with Reno decks in Wild, they are typically pretty dang expensive. Just because, like, you need to run singleton of cards, and the best way to do that is by running legendaries. So Reno decks are usually chock full of legendaries. So fair warning before you go and make a Reno deck. And Wild, I'll check out a few lists and get a good expectation of what that entails. I'm playing against Blast Mage, Miner, Excavate, Mage. A little bit of a hero power, and then... And that might be enough to get by. So they can swing into my 7/5 and ping it, and then that still leaves lethal on the board. Looks like my opponent is pondering their decisions. They're going with a reverb. So they do have a 6/6 now. How else are they going to spend their mana? Going with a ping. A rock. Gotcha, gotcha. Read you loud and clear. And I think my best course of action is to hero power, send these two upstairs, and clear their 6/6. And maybe this will be enough to cross over the finish line. So we have two lethal attackers. And my opponent has only showed me standard cards so far. The Buster. Into... hopefully not a taunt or heal or anything of the sort. Hopefully it's the thing that deals 2 damage to everything. It might have been that. Okay. Cool. We have beat standard Excavate Mage with our Wild Murloc deck. A huge feather in our cap. For sure. Is that a Paladin? Okay, so far, we've played against Meg Paladin, Libram Paladin, and Reno Paladin. Let's see if we can complete the trifecta and face against like a dedicated Holy Wrath or dedicated Uther Paladin. That could be fun. Okay, no, it's even Paladin. Does Paladin have too many good cards? Maybe Paladin is maybe a pushed class in this format at least. But let's start with a pretty good start. So next turn we can go Amalgam of the Deep on our Tidecaller, if my opponent allows for that. They have the Hi-Ho. Ooh, Clownfish next turn is going to go absolutely crazy. I think if you compare these two cards, I think this one is better. It's just a hunch I have. And I will dish for this much. If I bopped into there, they could still value trade into there. So I'm just going to get in my damage while I can. That is by far the most annoying thing my opponent could ever do to me. And I think they know that. I do need to clear that. Ugh, so annoying. Let's go with Clownfish. Give him a little bit of a zap. And also Braingill for a little bit of a refill. Feel good about that. That Nerubian Weblord, is that his name? Yeah, that guy is absolutely backbreaking to this deck. And guess who's back? Yeah, it's Nerubian Weblord. Okay, do I need to clear that again? I think I do. So let's do just that. And I think I have enough card draw with this alone. So let's double bump into their Pan Man and swing 3. A little bit better of a start this game. Double Braingill is going to draw me like my whole deck. The plushie. So I do need to take care of that, especially with double plushie. So Crusader Aura is the thing I am most afraid of. So let's go Tidecaller. I think Cactus Cutter as well. Wait, no, I don't think I can Cactus Cutter. No. Let's go Spawnpool. If I do this, Everyfin will cost 1, or cost 2, and I only have 1 mana. So that is not a very good look. And actually, I want this to have permanent poison. I think that is kind of relevant. And let's also throw this in there for good measure and do a little bit of Everyfin. Clear there. Draw a card. Not bad. Okay. Pretty good turn 5 board. So hopefully, I mean, even if they have Crusader Aura, that doesn't do much. Been controlling their board pretty well. So the way that they get out of this is another call to arms. But even that probably wasn't enough. Pretty good. Okay, we have defeated, I think, 1 Libram Paladin and an even Paladin, and got bodied by all the other Paladins.